Good morning, folks. It's Blue, and this morning I just want to get a little serious about something I'm concerned about, and that is abortion. I know that people will argue that it's a right of choice, a woman should have the right to choose, and that it should be her right to abort a child or to have an abortion. And I know also there are arguments concerning the moralities of abortion, concerning the fact that there are women who are victims of crimes that, and become pregnant, and really, why should they have to deal with that child from that situation? And in that situation, I can almost understand this thing. But let's really face it, folks. Abortion is murder. There's no other way to put it. It's murder. It's either murder for convenience. It's either murder for the health of someone. It's either murder for personal reasons. Or it could be murder for the fact that it was a crime that should have never occurred to begin with. But it's murder. There's just no other way to put it. It's murder. It's the killing and the taking of a life. Okay? Now some may say, well, your life doesn't begin until you come out of the womb. Well, I'm a Christian, first of all, and I'll say that. I'm not ashamed of it one bit. And in the Bible, it talks about God knew someone before they was even in the womb of a woman. So I'm telling you, life goes beyond just our little inconveniences. You're alive today. Think about it. You are living. If you make the choice and you think that the choice for abortion is right, then how do you justify the fact that you're living and some child is not? Because they were aborted. Aborting meaning to terminate the process, to end the process. I think it comes from a Greek or Latin derivative of ab ariri. I can barely say it because I'm too country. But in that process, it means to the ariri means miscarry, I believe is what the term is. Okay, but besides all that, let's just get back. The same people who think that it should be right to abort a child or for a woman to have that choice, sometimes, a lot of times, without the man involved. And it takes a man to conceive. In most cases, there are cases where women can conceive without a man, but for the most part, there's a man involved. So the man should be involved in the decision as well. Let's face it, folks. Sin begets sin. I'm not perfect. I've committed sin. I've even had the opportunity where I was confronted by a woman who tried to say that she was pregnant by me, but I knew better, and she wanted me to pay for the abortion, and at a younger age, I may have done that. There's people in my family who have dealt with abortion. I mean, it's something that happens. Okay, and by choice, people make that choice. I don't think, though, that we need to morally sit back and say, this is a right choice. I mean, we all make choices every day. We all can make bad choices. We can make good choices. I can go out and get drunk, drink my butt off, get drunk, and go out and drive. And if the police stop me, and if I tell them, well, I made a choice to drink and drive, I should have that right. Does that make it right? Of course not. As far as life beginning before the child comes out of the womb, I think it's pretty elemental elementary. If you could look at the physics of life, you know that this life started at the conception. I mean, we have people, scientists, who have cloned animals and probably even cloned some humans. But have cloned them through the process of taking DNA, adding it to the cells combined and made a life that was duplicate of another life, and are proud of it. Where did that life start? Well, it started from the moment they started doing the process of making this clone of the animal. Life begins with the conception, and probably even before that. So, to abort a child within the womb is murder. There's no other way around it. I mean, these people are the same people who will argue and cry and debate all day long about men going to battle and dying, many at their own voluntary means. Do you know there are people who will sacrifice for you to have freedom? They join the services. They know what the probability is that they might get involved in a situation where they may have to actually fight for their country. I was in the service 8 years. I know. You may actually have to fight. It was always on my mind. And many of these young men today are going in knowing that they're going to a foreign nation to fight and may die. You know, that's not even a good argument. You need to take that and throw it away. You're not that concerned about them. You're concerned about the fact that you want to be right over other people. That's all you're concerned about. You're concerned about the fact that maybe it's taking things away from you. Politically speaking, let's get on the deal here. You know, our economy today has a lot to do with like 9/11, a whole city being submerged by a hurricane, fires. I mean, come on, who are we blaming here? We have a lot of reasons for a bad economy, a lot of foreign reasons, but we have a bad economy. That all aside, just the fact that people they're all for the abortion, but they're against men who volunteer to go into service to fight for their freedoms dying. Oh, they'll lament and lament and lament all day long over that, but they won't lament one moment about children being innocently murdered every day. Every day. Because and mainly, the biggest reason, I know this is the biggest reason, you know it's the biggest reason, most of us know it's the biggest reason. Because it's an inconvenience. It came at an untimely time. Anyway, enough of that being said. Also, these are the same people who, if they don't believe in God, will sit up and say, we came from single-celled amoeba, who are single-celled organisms, who through millions and millions and millions of years of processes, we have evolved to the great intelligent human beings we are now, who go around and kill single-celled organisms, believing that they aren't life. Excuse me, folks. Excuse me. But there's some ironic irony there. It's just irony. Well, how can one be and one not, and the other one be? You people just can't make sense. And the reason is because you're wrong, and you know you're wrong. Abortion's murder.